This is the question number 18 from 7th edition and number 20 from 6th edition. Question says the bank has $650,000 to invest, and bonds, home mortgages, car loans, and personal loans are four different options. And different options have different return rate. As you can see, they're collectively 10, 8.5, 9.5, 12.5. The problem is that the return rate in personal loans is higher, but there can be higher risk. In order to restrict the risk, the bank decides to have particular composition in his investment. So it says the constraints. It says what could be the constraints. The constraints are 25% of the total portfolio. Bank wants to restrict personal loans to no more than 25% of the total portfolio. That means this is the total investment is going to make, and he doesn't want to invest more than 25% of this amount in personal loans. Similarly, bank also wants to ensure that money is invested in mortgages than personal loans. That means amount invested in mortgages should be greater than personal loan. Similar is amount invested in bonds greater than personal loans. So formulate an LP. So when it comes to formulate an LP, what should be our first thing? Decision variables. Let us consider amount invested in bonds equal to x1, and home mortgages equals to x2, car loans equals to x3, and personal loans equal to x4. So this is our decision variable. Now what should be our objective? Our objective is to maximize the return. That means maximize the return. So if we invested x1 in bonds, what would be the return from the bonds? Plus 10% is a return from 10% is a return from the bonds, 8.5 from mortgages. So 8.5 is from mortgages, and from car loans is 9.5, and personal loans is 12.5. This is our objective. What are the constraints? First constraint is risk constraint. Personal loans no more than 25%. The one personal loans is X4. X4 should be less than equals to 25% of 650,000. What is the second constraint? Money invested in mortgages, more money invested in mortgages than in personal loans. So X2 should be greater than X4. That more money is invested in mortgages than personal. Bank also wants to invest more in bonds than personal loans. More in bonds than personal loans. X1 greater than X4. Is there any more constraint? All this amount should be Xi should be greater than equals to 0. That is positive numbers where I is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. So amount can be greater than equals to here. Greater than equals to here. So we have to build this LP in our Excel. So let's go to the Excel. So let's write the rates here. Rates, then amount invested, so this is bonds, mortgage, car loan, and personal loans. So the rates are fixed. There is 10%, 8.5%, 9.5, and 12.5. And this amount invested is our decision variable. So let's make it as gray. So to find the total return, let's write the total return and let's call it a effective percentage. These rates are in percentage, so let's make this, let's keep it as percent. So this should be the sum of all the four investment, and this value should be equals to 650,000. And let's say this is effective money that is returned in the sum product of this multiplied with amount invested. So this is the total return, and to find the return percentage it would be this value divided by this value. So this is the effective return percentage. This will be the effective return value. So this is our objective cell. Apart from this is our objective. This multiplied with these values. This is the sum constraint. This is the return percentage. And the other constraint are x4, that is this value should be less than 25% of it. So you can just write here 25% constant value would be value is equals to 0.25 multiplied with total amount. So this is one constraint. Second constraint is amount invested in the home mortgages should be greater than equals to the personal loans. So let's say personal loan is equals to this amount. So our constant should keep x2 greater than this. So let's go to the solver and say maximize, and I'll choose maximize the total return by changing the variable cells amount of money invested, and subject to the constraint. The first constraint is all these values are greater than equals to 0. The second constraint is this column x4 should be less than equals to, it should be less than equals to 25% of this. So this is the 25% of the total amount. column less than equals to this value, amount cannot exceed this, and x2, that is home mortgage, should be greater than equals to the personal loans, and x1, amount in bond, be greater than equals to the personal loans, and sum of the amount invested should be equals to the total portfolio amount. Okay, change it to the LP, solve it, get the results. So this is our result. Coming back to the other questions here, formulate the LP, we formulated the LP, implement the model in internet, and the optimal solution. So the optimal solution is to invest 325,000 in bonds, 162,500 in mortgages, zero amount in car loans, and 162,500 in personal loans. Thank you.